Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video you're going to learn how to use the word notwithstanding. This word is used to show contrast, so it will be helpful for you if you're doing formal or academic writing. Maybe you have to do an IELTS exam or Cambridge CHI or CPE, or perhaps you want to study at an English-speaking university. If you find the video helpful, then please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let's get started. Notwithstanding is a preposition, so in this regard it's similar to despite or in spite of, and it's used to show a contrast between what we expect to happen and what really happens. So we use it to show something that is unexpected or surprising. It's used in formal or academic writing. So if you're studying at university or you're an academic, then this is a useful word for you. Or maybe you have to do an IELTS exam. And we can use it at the start or the end of a noun phrase. So in this respect, it's different from despite or in spite of, because they can only be used at the beginning of the noun phrase. So let's look a little bit more closely at the similarities and differences between notwithstanding and despite or in spite of. Despite or in spite of comes at the beginning of a noun phrase, and it can also be followed by a gerund, so that is the ing form of the verb. We could say despite going or despite doing. Notwithstanding can be used at the beginning of the noun phrase and also at the end of the noun phrase, which you can't do with despite or in spite of. And it's actually more typical to use it at the end of the noun phrase, and we can't use a gerund with notwithstanding. So let's take a look at some examples. Notwithstanding some heavy opposition, they won the election. So just to give you a bit of vocabulary about the electoral process and make it clear what I'm talking about, in the UK, we go to a polling station, we complete our poll card, and then we enter our vote into the ballot box. Okay, so this is the British electoral process. Now, when a political party faces heavy opposition, we expect that they will lose the election. And yes, that is right, political party. May sound a bit strange, but we do call political groups political parties. So the three main parties in the UK, for example, are the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, and the Liberal Democrats. So the fact that they win is surprising or unexpected. We would imagine that when a party has a lot of opposition, that they would lose. So we're surprised that they win. So you can think of notwithstanding as not affected by some heavy opposition. They won the election. Now let's take a look at the other ways we can structure this. Despite some heavy opposition, they won the election. So here you can see notwithstanding and despite are used in exactly the same way with exactly the same meaning. Some heavy opposition notwithstanding, they won the election. So remember, we can put it at the end of the noun phrase. Some heavy opposition despite, they won the election. No. We can't put despite at the end of the noun phrase, but we can do that with notwithstanding. And in fact, this is the most typical or natural way to use notwithstanding at the end of the noun phrase. They won the election notwithstanding some heavy opposition. So here you can see we've structured it a bit differently. We're starting with our main idea. They won the election, notwithstanding some heavy opposition. And we're using notwithstanding at the beginning of the noun phrase. They won the election despite some heavy opposition. Exactly the same, no change in meaning. They won the election, some heavy opposition notwithstanding. So here we've got it at the end of the noun phrase. They won the election, some heavy opposition despite... nope. And highlighted here, they won the election, some heavy opposition notwithstanding. This is the most natural way to say it, putting notwithstanding at the end of the noun phrase. So let's just see another example of all the ways that we can use notwithstanding. Notwithstanding strong evidence of guilt, the jury failed to reach a verdict. So again, a little background and some vocabulary. So we're in court, that is the situation, or in the courtroom. And here you've got the jury. The jury are the group of people who make the decision or reach a verdict. And the verdict can either be guilty or not guilty. It's funny, they never say innocent in a court situation. It's always guilty or not guilty. And here you've got the judge who passes the sentence. So, when there is strong evidence that someone is guilty of committing a crime, you expect the jury to find them guilty. The fact that they are unable to reach a verdict is surprising. So we've got an expected reality that they will be found guilty, and then we've got the true reality, which is that no verdict is reached, and this is unexpected or surprising. Strong evidence of guilt notwithstanding, the jury failed to reach a verdict. So here again you can see we can position notwithstanding at the beginning of the noun phrase or at the end with no change in meaning. The jury failed to reach a verdict, notwithstanding strong evidence of guilt. The jury failed to reach a verdict, strong evidence of guilt notwithstanding. So you can see here 4 different structures, all equally correct, no change in the meaning. But the 2 highlighted phrases, this, for me anyway, is the most natural way to use it at the end of the noun phrase. Okay. For more grammar and vocabulary tutorials, as well as exam practice, then check out my other videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. You can also take a look at my website, englishwithm.com, and you'll find the link down below in the description. See you in the next video.